This picture here is of a 1927 Nash car that we used for a portable rope tow around the area in the late 30s and early 40s.
Distinction of junior and senior started when I was about 21 years old. And that's one thing I will always remember about working with my father, is the fact that I got this name because of us working together. There didn't seem to be any challenge that we couldn't overcome. We just had to keep working at it. And that's probably where my father was the best. He didn't know how to ever say we can't do this. We just always kept trying to move forward and one way or the other get the job done.
And I have to say, it was just all fun. We didn't think of it as work. It wasn't as though, I don't think there's many kids that their parents get a call from a guy like Senior to ask if Johnny can come out and play, you know? And that's what Senior was. We had this little cadre of kids, and he just led us. He led us to the mountains.
But I prepared this for Joe Zoline before I actually went to work for him, you know. I think maybe this is why he hired me. He said, well, that's what I'm going to make nobody's talking about. And Joe asked me to go to work for him. Why, he offered me $500, but you know, there was no assurance that I would have a job 6 months from there. Now, you know what made me make the decision? Of course, I talked to the wife, and I just said, you know, that I'm going to go for it because this is my dream when I was a little kid, clear back in the early 30s, you know.
I think in the early days, if you wouldn't have had a man like Billy that had that can-do attitude and unstoppable attitude and inspired the men and women that worked with him, there was a perfect timing for this mountain, which is a tough mountain to develop, and with this man that was ready to take on the job and do it, and he did it.
And then one year I saw a poster. It was like a comic poster. It was called The T-Rider. And this was a giant of a man. And I understand it was a takeoff of Senior, and it's true. I mean, he's just a giant of a man.
And if it weren't for Senior, it wouldn't have happened. It's the bottom line. He got all the equipment from the Eldorado, and, you know, begged people to come over there and work on that ski mountain until he didn't want to beg anymore, and then he just did it himself. And we had a little ski, you know, a little rope tow. That's where we learned to ski.
I think the fact that, you know, this was always his vision, and he's the one, when we were kids growing up, that always kept pushing and pushing to get a ski resort here, and worked at it and never gave up on it. And when it finally happened, then he got to start the operation and created the beginning of what's here now. And I think it's good for him. He deserves it because of the hard work he put in for years and years and years to make this thing happen.
And you look at the significance of the ski industry. I mean, what do we do, 11 million skier visits now? If one man is the genesis, he's one of them. And I mean, I think that's how elite it is, of the people that have the vision.
When we actually opened our doors and sold the first lift tickets, I guess probably that was one of the biggest thrills of my life, to think that we had accomplished that task. Now remember, we cut all the trails that summer and built those 5 lifts. And I'd like to think that I did accomplish and promote a pretty good thing for this part of the state, you know. I don't know how to describe how thrilled I will be. I mean, you know, my brothers that lived here in Telluride, of course, they've all found out about it, and of course now that gives them bragging rights, I guess, you know, that they got a brother that's going to be in the Ski Hall of Fame, which is a great honor, you know. I don't know how to describe it.